Hi. So today I am talking about FrostBlood by Ellie Blake. Um, to be honest, I was kind of disappointed. Um, it was an okay book, but I was expecting something a little bit more. So FrostBlood is about a girl named Ruby who is a fireblood, and she's had to hide her powers her entire life. Um, So she's living alone with her mom in a village, and one day these soldiers come and attack the village, somehow knowing that she's there. They kill her mom while she's trying to protect her, and she kind of goes crazy, but then they end up capturing her and taking her to a prison. So she's there for a few months, and she's being tortured there, and um, then these two Frostbloods come out of nowhere randomly to help her escape and rescue her. And she's, of course, skeptical and like, why? But she goes with them anyway. But they tell her that they want and need her help to overthrow the Frost King and to basically stop the genocide of the Firebloods. So she goes to the Abbey with these two characters with these two Frostbloods, and she trains with them up until the point where she needs to go and overthrow the king. Now she is training with Arcus, who is one of the most powerful Frostbloods, and he starts off as this angry, broody character who hates her, and she doesn't understand why. She just assumes it's because he's a Frostblood, she's a Fireblood. So when we get into the story, we find out reasons why, he was so closed off and well, mean to her in the beginning. And of course, there's like this blossom of romance and yada yada yada, or budding romance or whatever. So I liked the way that the use of the powers is described, the way that it is described, how it feels when the power is building up or when it's fizzling out or when she uses it and when she uses a lot of it. It's really nice to hear because it's almost like the Avatar, the Last Airbender. Um, we see them use all these powers and things, and we see them trying to train how to use certain powers, and it's kind of hard to relate to understand. So she did a really good job of explaining how the emotions and how the feelings and stuff are used and fuel her power. It's also really interesting how the frost affects her, and how even if they're not using frost, a frost blood is inherently cold to her, and it feels sort of like frostbite. I almost said frostburn, almost like a frostbite. Um, so that's really interesting. I like the way that she described that. A lot of the characters were really good as well. They're really interesting. They were nice characters. Sure, a lot of them hated Ruby at first because she's a fireblood, and they blame her for, all of their villages being ransacked and burned down and things like that. Um, However, a lot of the characters were very flat. They had like one distinguishing character trait or personality trait, and that was their character. Like that's who they were. And it's like, a lot of the characters were nice and, were cool, but there wasn't much to them. And I would argue that there wasn't much to Ruby either. She was not a very interesting character for me. Even in the beginning, before she got taken prisoner and her mom got killed, she wasn't very much different than she was after, her mom got killed and she was, escaped from the prison and everything. She was angry and suppressed, and that's how she was the entire time before. That's how she is afterwards. Not much changes with her. She doesn't go through very much development, in my opinion. She also freezes a lot, even when training. And her training battles, she just kind of freezes up, and there's so much thinking in between what's happening. So like she could be in the middle of a training session, right? And the trainer would be coming at her, and it's like the story stops, and they just talk for like ever about everything that she's thinking instead of getting on with the battle. And even when there's like not training and just intense battles, it's the same thing happening, and that was really, really frustrating for me, and that does not stop, and that's annoying. um the character that I liked the most was Arcus, the fire, or excuse me, the Frostblood. He was interesting. He had sides to him. He was a very dynamic character. Yes, he was like broody and angry and, you know, typical bad boy turns good sort of thing. But the reasons behind why he was feeling what he was feeling, and the things that he did was interesting. It was good. I enjoyed that. Like, I would, if the story was about Arcus, I think I would have enjoyed that a little bit more. Like his story, his past, you know, what he'd been through up until this point now. Um, but yeah, so a lot of the characters and things I didn't like all that much. I want to just make sure there's not another point that I wanted to yeah. Okay, so ended up giving the book 3.5 stars, but on Goodreads it can't do half stars, so I just give it 4 stars. There are some things that I would like to see explored in the next book, but we'll see when I read the next one. I'm not too eager to read it. I just was not wowed or anything by this book. It was okay. It was a good story. It was a good read, but it wasn't anything exciting that I would just be dying to read the next one. So, yeah. I mean, if you haven't read this, I mean, it's an okay read. I wouldn't rush out to go and read it, but I mean, it's good. So there's that. I never know how to end these things, but here we are. So I'm trying to upload videos every Monday because reasons, and honestly, it'll give me something extra to do. So basically, yeah, I'm uploading videos every Monday. So I'll see y'all next Monday. Bye.